Probably met Dan Lyons from the Redevelopment Authority and Betsy Bowman, Executive Director of the Authority. We're here today for our annual meeting with the commissioners concerning the Community Development Block Grant that the Redevelopment Authority administers for the county. We're looking at a 2015 allocation to the county in the amount of $285,513. Those funds must be used to benefit low and moderate income persons and or eliminate slum and blight in the county. Those funds also exclude the City of Lebanon and South Lebanon Township, who have their own allocations. The allocation for 2015 is down about $6,000 from 2014. Nothing dramatic, but we have no idea what will happen with the 16, since that's still tied up in the federal budget. We've gone through all of the steps with our citizen participation plans. We've held an input hearing, advertised it to municipalities and agencies. We had a second public hearing after we got activities proposed. There was no public comment on the proposed activities. And what we had previously submitted to the commissioners was really a summary of the funding requests. We will need to submit the application to the state by December 11th. Along with that funding request for the 2015, we're proposing to submit budget modification that will clean up some leftover funds from previous years. We'll also reallocate some of those funds to additional projects. We had more proposed activities than we have funding available this year. And that would include not only the 2015 allocation, but also those reallocation funds that we have. So we had to prioritize applications. We thought they were all good activities, but there are probably two activities that we're holding over for the 2016 allocation, or if some of the 15 activities don't work out, because we are in the process of still finding out income eligibility for surveys that we're doing in different communities.
I think Betsy covered most of it there.
I don't know if I have the right memo, and that's my question, because I'm showing 2011 and 2012 fiscal years.
We do. Those are two of the three prior fiscal years that will be modified, whose budgets will be modified along with our.
So this is not what you're proposing. My question, be specific, is Cedar Haven is still in there to $35,193.76, and I don't understand that request.
Okay, that is an older activity. There is no new Cedar Haven money. There's no new money being allocated to Cedar Haven, and actually money from the 2013 award that was allocated to Cedar Haven is being used for other projects. That's part of our modification process.
So that's what would be done here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And you'll see Cedar Haven in probably most of the fiscal years from the past, but they're no longer being funded. What we're doing, this is typically how we do this when we have a new application every year. It's a time for us to look at older fiscal years, look at those budgets, see which activities came in under budget, or which activities were funded with program income, and then now have a balance of grant funds. And we'd like to do a modification to clean those activities up. And it also, in doing that, we have funds available to maybe fund activities that they couldn't be funded with the current fiscal year. You may remember last year, it's normal for us to get more solicitations from the municipalities than we have available in any single year. And last year, we were able, with prior year modifications and anticipated program income, to cover all the requests. This year, like Betsy said, unfortunately, there was not enough, even given that older funding that is being modified. So we did have to do a prioritization, and there are a couple activities that are waiting in the wings now in case one of the 2015 activities comes under budget or falls through. As she mentioned, many of them are contingent upon income surveys that we're in the process of conducting. So those are waiting in the wings, with top priority to take over for an activity that doesn't come to fruition. And if that doesn't happen, then they'll be given consideration next year with our 2016 application. And we have an application from South Anvil Township, and they're a municipality that hasn't in recent years received CDBG. So we were glad to see that they came in with a request. They'd like to realign a section of Brant Road near Palm City Park to eliminate what they perceive as a dangerous 90-degree angle turn and install a traffic light to better manage the flow of traffic in that area. We also have 2 public service providers that are returning for CDBG funding, Probe with their financial literacy program, and also Volunteers in Medicine is coming in for a second round of funding. We were able to allocate enough money to cover both of those requests because it's under there is a cap on CDBG. You're only allowed to spend 15% of your grant on public service activities, but we were within that cap. We have Jonestown Borough coming back in for funding to do handicap improvements to their J1 Little League ball field. We hadn't funded Jonestown in some time, so we did have a good mix of some faces we hadn't seen in a long time, and then some of the ones who typically do come in every year, every other year. So a pretty good balance, as you may have seen.
No, I just would like to put light on the fact that I'm affiliated with Volunteers in Medicine, so I'll be abstaining from the vote.
The Jonestown that you mentioned goes
Yes.
back to Commissioner Litz's question, I think. That's some of the reprogrammed money that was in prior years for Cedar Haven and so on,
Yes.
other projects. So
Correct.
So the Jonestown and the North Cornwall
That's right.
are 2 of them that are
That were Cedar Haven.
reprogrammed, right? Okay.
So if no one has any questions, then the first resolution we'll be presenting is to approve the submission of the 2015 application in all respects. And then there will be a second resolution to cover that budget modification.
So moved.
All right, does Bob have to abstain from the vote?
This is the one, you're allocating to
First-
Volunteers in
first
Medicine, so
one,
this
right.
would be the vote, the
Okay.
recommended abstention.
Right.
But he
I can
can
second
second
it.
it, though.
I believe so.
Yeah, second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the modification as presented. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we have 1 abstention.
And that is the resolution to approve the submission of the modification to those older fiscal years. And it covers fiscal years 2011, 12, and 13.
Motion to approve.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve the modification for the prior years. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Thank you. We have 1/3 resolution here today. This is one that hasn't been included in past years. It's a new requirement of the state. We're required to maintain certain plans on behalf of the county. They include our citizen participation plan, which lays out, when we'll have our public hearings to get the citizen input and how we'll go about the CDBG application cycle and all that. And they're now requiring that we adopt a resolution annually reaffirming those plans. So every year we revisit those plans. They're all on file. No changes were necessary this year. It's simply a resolution to reaffirm the existing plans.
So moved.
I thought it was.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve. This is a modification as well.
This is to reaffirm the existing plans.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
We have cooperation agreements between the county and different municipalities. To give you an idea, the Township of South Lebanon is a state CDBG entitlement, so they get their own funding, but it is received by the county on behalf of the township. So the county has an agreement with the township for the management of that program that we renew every 3 years. So we have that, and then for every CDBG activity that is carried out in a municipality, the county actually enters into a cooperation agreement with that municipality to allow the Redevelopment Authority as the administering agent to carry out that project. So we do have 2 of those that will need signature. And then, as Betsy mentioned, we're actually making the submission of our 2015 application now that we have your resolutions today. We'll be doing that next week, and there are a few pages that need to be signed that will go into that application. So we'll just be leaving those behind.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. If you feel an aura, it's because Ray was here earlier.
Why didn't you tell us?
And I
We
wish
would
you
have come
stayed.
earlier.
He was in plaid.
I'd be very proud of the way you're conducting your business, so thank you.
That's good, thank
Thank
you.
you.
And Betsy, you're doing a great job mentoring this young man, Dan.
He didn't need a lot of mentoring.
No, well, he's doing great.
really taken to all of the requirements, and he's doing a great job.
Yes, I can see that.
Thank you.
I may be able to retire in a few years.
I'm not pushing you out the door. I'm just
Okay,
saying
okay.
you're just doing a great job of mentoring him.
Thank you.